My name is Kiiza Annet. I work as Knowledge Transfer Manager for Uganda. We've been implementing the ISSDF project for the last 2 years. This is the 3rd year almost running. And we've been working in northern Uganda, that is in Bulu, Lira specifically, but we outscaling to West Nile, that is in Arua currently with another project running. If you can see, as a company, we have long-term objectives when we are coming in. This is a pre-commercial activities we set up so that it's not like we come in as an NGO. We don't have the NGO approach, but for us, it is a pre-commercial activity as a foundation that we set up for our teams. The first slide you are seeing here is that you'll see on the left-hand side, that is one of the demos we're seeing, the cabbage demos in northern Uganda. And on the right-hand side, this is one of the kitchen gardens we are having in Arua. Next slide, please. Next slide.
Yeah, please. We have.
Yeah, this is a pre-commercial activity. We set up pre-commercial activities for our teams. We train our teams to train the farmers. That's a knowledge transfer. We have 5 teams in different areas, and that is in Bulu, and 5 teams in Bulu, 5 teams in Arua, and they're all supported through our training, our KTS team in Bangkok. We look at when you look at our approach, is that we look at it as I may say that this is a foundation. This is a non-profit making organization, but it is a foundation under East West Seed, a seed company which is a breeder in the Netherlands. What do we do? One of our objectives, what we do is that we set up pre-commercial farming training through independent and non-profit foundation, sharing open knowledge on profitable and sustainable production practices. I think you can see from the picture around here, you are seeing that our teams are now working alongside the farmers, showing them different practices like raised beds, which they did not have. They did not know, fertilization, which they did not know at the beginning. And if you looked closely, northern Uganda is one of the areas which in Uganda, in the context of Uganda, is one of the areas people never used of fearing of anything to do with vegetables. For them, it's like, this is a I may say, it was affected by war for the last 18 years, they were in the camp. By the time they came in, they were now growing other perennial crops rather than vegetable growing. But of recent, we've seen a lot of growth rising from one demo site, which we set one demo site, and we train around 25 farmers. But out of 25 farmers, we are realizing that there is a lot of multiple changes which we did not even anticipate to come in, but we are seeing them coming in. When you look at this, is that this is a win-win situation, whereby for us, we are training the farmers free of charge. So when you train the farmers in the long term, in the long run, they're able now to make selection of the varieties. We are not emphasizing that you come and buy East-West varieties. It's up to them to make a choice. But what we need is that what is in front of us is the knowledge. We make sure that the people know what to do, and with the knowledge they're having, they can make a choice. So win-win, higher income for farmers and better environment for company to grow future markets. Also, driving the development of competitive agro-input markets. The agro-input markets, you realize that northern Uganda, nobody would love to invest in a place where the low purchasing power is, they have low purchasing power. But we are realizing right now that most of the sales are coming from northern Uganda. Why? Because people they have knowledge, and now they can make choices. Next slide, please. Yes, I would also like to talk about the objective of the foundation. The objective of the foundation is to increase farm gate profits and greater environmental sustainability. Also, vegetable production positioned as an attractive and viable livelihood. You realize in Ugandan context, actually in northern Uganda, people were into tobacco growing. They thought that tobacco growing was the only source of income. But now, if somebody has to wait to get that income from the tobacco, and remember tobacco, it is only one sole buyer, that is Uganda tobacco growers. But that means you are limited by choice. But when they have like vegetables, they have a variety of choice. So as they are waiting for the tobacco, they're able now to grow vegetables. They have seen that vegetables, others even abandoning tobacco into vegetable production. They are looking at vegetable production as one of the areas that they can invest in. Even people who are not even thinking of, they thought that tomato growing was something which was very hard. We are easing it. They're able now to learn from the neighbors that they can get the results. How do we do that? We make sure we get information. We gather information with them. For example, if I'm giving them, I'm not giving them every item we give them, we record it. So if I'm giving you the seeds, if we are buying the seeds, we record it. How much is it? If we are buying fertilizers, we record it. If we are buying other inputs, we record it. Then at the end of the day, you're able to determine the return of return on investment. So some people, they have been able to realize that the person who was taking vegetable as not a viable project is able to buy a motorcycle within one season. Another season is able to build a big house. How do you see the changes coming in? The changes are coming in because we positioned ourselves to make sure that we portray vegetable as one of the areas for people, for the farmers to invest in. We have fertile environment for businesses. As people, you look at a fertile environment for business. Remember, this is a business company. There is development of a vibrant vegetable sector, which I think everyone is able to see. Even when you look at the news, if you looked at the news right now, I think there is no news, I think in the Monitor, in the Daily Monitor and in the New Vision, everyone right now is looking at vegetable sector as one of the areas of investment. Even if it is kitchen gardens, there is high adoption levels at different sites. Also looking at improved livelihoods, reduced urban migration, and improved nutrition. People at one moment thought we can only get incomes, we can get rich by being in the cities. But because being in the cities, you don't have access to land, you cannot really have that liberty to grow your vegetables. So they feel the people they left behind, they are far better than them. So when he goes back within one season, we'll give you an example, a person who was in Lida, who was an askari. There was this guy who was a security guard. He was earning around 100,000, that's equivalent around less than $50. He was earning less than $50, but in a month. But what he did, he made sure he involved his wife to grow vegetables. So before he realized his wife was earning higher money than what he was earning. So at the end of the day, he ended up saying no. When he compared the two, he said, I cannot go back to town. I'd rather come here and concentrate. And now he's one of the guys who is doing very fine. On terms of improved nutrition, we have had a project called NIGI, Nutrition and Income Generation project, which is targeting the refugee communities in Arua, in Omugo sub-county. This one is have an approach of nutrition and income generation. We are setting in the 25 square meters, the kitchen, we're setting up kitchen gardens. I think you've seen them in the previous slide. In the 25 square meters, she is able to plant around 4 crops. Why are we planting 4 crops? What we are showcasing here, can you get the techniques of planting those, of managing those crops? Then from there, he's able to manage, he's able to go in for commercial. So what has happened here, within one season, we've been able to see a lot of transition. The farmers, the refugees whom we thought were limited by space, they're able now to work well with the host community. They're expanding on the gardens, they're going commercial. And remember, the refugee settlement is not permanent. So we are looking at it in the long term. They are going to move from Arua, they are going to go to South Sudan. So by the time they go to South Sudan, in terms of the market, in terms of access to seeds, it will be done. So also we have what you call as rural economic development. After this one is the long-term curve. What do we want to achieve? We want to achieve the rural economic development as a foundation. Can we go to another slide, sir? Yes, these are simple practices, and I say the way the word says, simple practices and easy to replicate. If you looked closely, you see the middle kitchen garden. It is very easy, very simple. These are 4 kitchen garden. These are 4 crops within an area of 25 square meters. If you went to Arua to Omugo settlement camp, you'll be amazed by what you're able to see. You'll be able to see a project which was there for only within a season, 1 season. That means 1 crop cycle. We're able to see replication almost doubling than what we have been able to talk about. When you go to Lida, West Nile, when you go to Lida, when you go to Gulu, what you're able to see, the people we targeted 100, we are targeting, like in a season, we're targeting around 100 demos in a district. But we're able to see so many demos that are so many replication along the way. People don't replicate everything. Somebody can take, maybe he can be able to adopt high varieties. Another one can adopt, raised beds. Another one can adopt trellising. So it depends on the adoption levels. Adoption is at different levels, but we are realizing adoption is very, very high. They are using raised beds right now. They have realized that they're using even raised beds not only for vegetables, that they're applying them to other crops like, let's say, they are now growing maize in raised beds, which was never to be there. So this already indicates that we are already going.
Annette, maybe I'm sorry to push you. Could you wrap up in about 2 minutes tops, please?
Okay. I would request maybe my colleague Elijah, if he's around, I think he's around, he could also give me a wrap up on what I've said.
I don't think Elijah has the ability. Let me try and find Elijah.
Okay.
Maybe if we have time at the end, Elijah might be able to add a few words.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. In short, to wrap up what we've said is that this is like, for me, it's like a dream coming true. What we went for, we have gained from what we went for. We went in as transferring knowledge, but we are seeing now more than what transferring knowledge. We are now seeing a lot of replication going away along the way. Thank you very much.